Hello YouTube, Reddit Math here, and welcome to a new game for the channel. This is Duelyst. Duelyst is a tactical, turn-based, multiplayer strategy game with collectible card game elements and a pixel art style, which basically means that the developers took all of the features of games that I really love and decided to roll them all up into one. Now, this game is currently in beta. You can apply at the website to get a beta code, and usually you receive it a few days later by email. I'll include a link in the description to the website if you'd like to sign up for that. Currently we're in version 0.46 here, and this is a game I've been playing really for like the last day. I started playing it yesterday, so I'm not terribly far along in it. But before I kept playing lots and lots of it, I decided that I might want to share it with you guys. So there's really two components to the game that we're going to be looking at here. Now, one of them is the multiplayer online, like competitive battling part of the game. There's also sort of a tutorial mission element that's going on, and we can use either of those to gain gold here in order to buy spirit orbs. And then those spirit orbs can be used to unlock like additional cards, which are basically units and spells in the game. Now, we'll get into all of that kind of stuff a little bit later here. For now, I'm just going to go ahead and jump in so you guys can see a little bit about what the game looks like. Now, for this video at least, we're going to do first some training grounds stuff just so you could see exactly how everything's working. And then at the end of the video, we'll go ahead and do a quick one-on-one match. And that should make for a fairly robust gameplay experience. So within the training grounds, you can see here there's a number of different things. I've gone through up to the Vault of Generations here. So I've played through these kind of opening tutorial scenarios, I guess you could call them. I haven't gone any further. Some of them need to be unlocked by playing additional 1v1 matches online. And so I hope to eventually get to that and to share that with you guys. This first one is just going to show you kind of a tutorial and the basics of the game. So we'll go into the first one here, Knowledge is Power, which should just be kind of showing us how everything works. And it's going to show us how we can summon minions and use them to attack Calibero, the enemy guy. We'll go ahead and click Start on that. And as you can see, it loads into a grid here. And it's going to explain, this is our general. We are starting on the left side as player 1. Player 2 always starts on the right. This is our health. If we run out of health on our general, we lose the game. If we run out of health on the enemy general, then we win. Yay. We can move up to 2 spaces in a single turn. And so all we've got to do is left click on our general and then left click where we want him to go. And he runs up in his pickle sprite glory here. And then in order to attack, all we've got to do is select our unit we're attacking with and then click where we want him to attack. Now, the enemy unit will then get an opportunity to respond to that attack. So we're seeing like an attack and a total health number. If you're familiar with maybe like Magic the Gathering, which is a game that I've played before, the one thing that's going to be different here is that this health number doesn't reset in between turns. So it's going to be persistent throughout. Go ahead and end our turn here. And then we're going to get to a little bit more of the CCG stuff. We draw 2 new cards each turn. They're displayed down here. Nope. And we're getting attacked and responding in kind. So we're now both down to 2-6. Calibero is going to be taking his turn where he is summoning in some minions of his own. Now, we're gaining mana. Right now, we're starting with 2 mana. And then now it's the second turn, we're getting 3 per turn. So this will slowly fill up, and we'll have access to the entirety of what you've unlocked so far. So like on the next turn, we're in turn going to get 4 mana, then 5, then 6, then 7, then 8, etc. So we do have enough right now to summon this Bloodshard Golem, which is a 4/3. And this is the tutorial, so it's telling us to put him right here. They come in and have to wait a turn, so they get sort of a summoning sickness sort of thing going on, which is pretty common in games like this. There are, of course, minions that have special abilities that allow them to attack the same turn that they're summoned. So we're going to attack the enemy general again. which will get us both down into a fairly dangerous state of 2-4, and then we'll go ahead and end our turn. As you can see, we summoned 2 more guys, and then they're attacking us. Okay. Taste the claws of my Silvermane. Alright. And he's decided to pull back just a little bit here. I don't think he actually does have a Silvermane. Okay, that's fair. Alright, we'll go ahead and summon in our other golem here. Okay, so we can attack diagonally. Our general, of course, takes 1 damage there. Now we're a little bit behind, which is kind of scary, but I don't think our tutorial is going to steer me wrong. Alright, and he wasn't able to take out our Hailstone Golem, so we should have a pretty easy job dispatching him on the next turn. Yep. Okay, and now we get into what the tutorials are going to do a lot of, especially after these first 3, which is these sort of little challenges, where the challenge is to finish off the enemy general on this turn. That's pretty straightforward, right? We'll just start that challenge. All we've got to do is move our golem up, and then have our golem attack the enemy general. He'll respond, but then he is dead. And that's the basics. Victory. If we click anywhere to continue, we'll come back out into this. I do wish that it didn't return us entirely to the main menu. I wish it would back us out just 1 level so it was a little bit easier to get back into these. But we'll go ahead and come into the second of the tutorials, which is going to explain kind of how the playmat is actually structured during the game. It's saying here to occupy mana springs, and we're going to learn to cast spells in this tutorial. So we'll go ahead and start, and it is probably going to very quickly explain what these are. Okay, this time we're player 2 over here. Now on our turn, as player 2, we start on the right side. It's probably going to want us to move forward. Yep. As player 2, our first turn gets 3 mana. And it is showing us these mana springs. So one of the kind of interesting tactical elements in the 1v1 map is that it starts out like this, where this is little ball effectively just, it gives us 1 more mana. And so in the opening couple of turns, you want to sort of maneuver your characters in such a way as you can try to get as many of these as possible, as they can often give you a very early sort of definitive lead. So if we move up to the closest one, we're not going to be able to take it this turn. Oh, and it just wants us to end. I guess we're going to learn about spells on the next turn. Draw a couple of other cards. Great, we got a Minion Vox. And True Strike, which is a spell that is just going to let us deal 2 damage to an enemy minion. Yeah, so what he's going to be able to do is move up. Oh, that's actually a really poor play from his perspective. Well, maybe. Lethal enemy minions are blocking your diagonal path. No matter, I'll take the center. Okay, so he could have summoned one of these guys directly on the mana spring, which would have given him that +1 mana for that turn. I guess you could say that he instead decided to sort of bait me into the center so that I'm surrounded and on the next turn it's easier to attack me. But what it allowed me to do was gain additional mana. So I'm now at 5 out of 4 for this turn. That's going to let me cast this True Strike and easily kill this thing. And then do it again and easily kill this thing. And then we've got enough for our own Vox, which is a little 4/2. And you have the option to replace 1 card at any time during your turn. You can do that by dragging it over here. It's just like you discard it in order to redraw. Basically what it's saying is there's no reason I'm going to need 2 characters that cost 6 mana, because I'm not going to be able to do that anytime soon. Might as well ditch one of them in order to get another True Strike. Alright. Then in this turn, he's going to move down. Fancy. Gets a little wall thing going here. Yep. There are a number of spells that do things like this, where they'll let you summon in a number of enemies on a single turn. So finish them off in 1 turn. It's actually super simple. I could do this a number of ways, with either attacking using my general to clear this path, or, and I imagine what it wants me to do, I could cast the spell here to destroy that minion. Then our Vox is going to be a 4/2, facing a general that only has 4 health left, so we pretty easily win that fight. So well. And I really dig the little animations. As you can probably tell from my channel, I like pixel art. It's not even just nostalgia or anything like that. Like, I enjoy the minimalistic style and sort of what can be done with it. Like, it constantly impresses me, and I like the little animations and attacks that all of these characters have. Alright, and in this, we're going to learn about kind of the last card type, which is the artifact. Alright, and also another aspect of the opening hand, which allows us basically, before the match starts, we get presented with the first 3 cards that we're going to draw, and we can choose to keep any or discard any of these that we want. Now, since this Dragon Moon Golem is freaking amazing as a 10/10, but he costs 7, we don't really want to draw that on the first turn. So we'll go ahead and say we're going to get rid of him, and then we'll confirm to redraw that, and in its place, we get an artifact. Now, this artifact costs 0, which is awesome. You can have up to 3 artifacts equipped at a time. What it's going to do is give our general +1 attack, so that he can get in there and dish it out with the best of them. Now, artifacts also have a durability, and that durability is always 3 as far as I can tell. Basically meaning once we get hit 3 times, our artifact is going to break and go away. So we don't have +1 attack forever. Eventually, that's going to kind of be destroyed. And thankfully, though, we can equip up to 3 of them. Yep, whenever I take damage, I lose 1 durability. Got it. So we can stack these on top of each other. You won't get past my barricade. Well, we'll see about that. He's able to summon a little bit of an ice wall. Ugh. It does have 7 health. That is kind of a pain. I won't lie. Okay. And then he puts down a tiny, kind of adorable bunny rabbit looking thing with a giant sword. Okay. Yep. So the first thing we're going to do, we're going to clear a path here. We do 3 damage to the ice wall there. It now has 4. We're going to equip another artifact to get our attack up to 4. And then smash through that wall. Alright. And that's all we can do this turn. And yet again, we get another artifact. Okay. So by the time we actually get into this fight, we are going to be absolutely lethal. Yeah. Alright. The challenge begins. We want to finish him off in a single turn. He has 8 HP. So it is important that we kind of use another little tactic that it's showing us here, which is if we attack with our minion here, it's going to die, which means that it's going to clear the space that it's occupying, allowing us to then occupy that space behind it and deal a killing blow. Which teaches an important lesson of, you know, sometimes it's better to leave enemies alive if they are sort of shielding you from potentially even more dangerous things. Alright, so with that, that's going to take care of the simplest sort of first 3 tutorials, which should give you a good overall idea of how the game's mechanics work. Now what we're going to do is jump into a fight, and I've kind of considered this, I think, just to give a better idea of maybe what the opening play experience is like. I'm actually going to play with one of the starter decks. I'm probably going to lose horribly with that in online 1v1, but it'll give you an idea of what you can expect to have when the game begins. So, as we select this, these are all of the decks that I currently have. Now, most of them say starter here, with the exception of 2 custom decks that I've created already. For right now, I think I'm just going to use one of the starters. And, what would be like a cool... I like the Vitruvian Imperium. Yeah, let's go ahead and go with those. So the starter decks are a little bit smaller. This only has 27 cards in it. The minimum when you're constructing your own deck is actually 40. So it's a little bit, like, it plays a little bit tighter than a deck might otherwise do. But Alright, and as you can see, we queue up really quickly here. That has not been a problem in the time that I've been playing at all. Alright, these are all pretty good. They've got very low costs. We get a +1/+1 buff on one of our minions. We get a 2-cost minion and destroy an enemy minion near our general. So if he throws out something really big, we can just take it right out. I'm fine with that. We'll go ahead and just confirm and then get a move on right off the bat. So I'm not expecting to win this, like, at all. You know, we've got a little kind of chat-related thing here. We can, good luck, have fun at our opponent. And alright, and we got some artifacts here. Okay, so we can beef up our general quite a bit. That's actually pretty cool. I might get in there and just tussle a little bit with him. We'll see. Okay, here comes a ranged minion. Now, ranged minions, as the name might imply for you, are able to attack from range without necessarily being counterattacked, which is dangerous for probably some pretty obvious reasons. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use this rock golem to actually take this mana. Going to give me an extra mana that doesn't really do me any good, but it's going to deprive my enemy of it, which is what I'm more excited by. And that is going to do it for me for this turn. Alright, now we've got a full hand, full life bars. He probably has better minions on the table, the field, the playmat thing. I'm a little bit frightened by these two guys. The Heartseeker and its ability to sort of poke from range is... Nope, that spell is going to sort him right out. He's super annoying. He's probably going to keep it really far away from me. Yeah, like that, and just sort of poke for damage as often as he can. Also, this Kato Assassin up here is able to backstab, which means if he gets behind me, he does increase damage. But I can at least take this. I'll get up to 5 mana for this turn. I could destroy something. I'm not super interested in that, truth be told. So why don't I just kill him, and then I'm going to equip some artifacts. Get myself up to a 619. So I am not a tiny man at all. There's little emotes and stuff. That is basically the communication. Faction-specific things, and the default are like all of the little ones. Okay. Not sure what other is, or if it's been implemented yet or not, really. Yeah, you can keep doing that. That's fine. They come in here? Nope. No, I was going to toss down a Healing Mystic. Some cards have this opening gambit. If you're familiar at all with Magic the Gathering, the effect is basically when this card comes into play, blah. So triggers an effect when summoned from your action bar, restores 2 health. So that is what he is doing. Now, I could destroy something. I could also get some of these minions in. Let's consider maybe both. I want to be trading blows with his general as long as I am beefed up like this. And then, since that is a 2/3, we'll go ahead and smite it. And then we'll just get down the Komodo, which is a 1/3. It can take 2 hits, basically. And we'll go ahead and end our turn. Alright. Flying and Dying Wish for draw a card. Okay. We're not too bad right now. He is about to learn the lesson that he probably doesn't want to trade blows with us, though. And so I imagine his general is about to be running away. Yeah, that's what I'd do, too. I'd want to stay fairly far away from me right now. And yeah, I'm not able to kill him back. Oh, and then it looks like we're going to get to meet a new friend of his. Fire Spitter, more ranged. I do the same thing in the deck that I've been constructing. I like these little range guys. They apply a lot of pressure more than anything. You know, they make sure that your opponent cannot just sit back and do nothing. So what I'm thinking, I think this is how push will work. If I bring him in and then I push him, yeah, I can throw you wherever I want. So when he comes into play, he's going to just push a nearby enemy. I used it to basically clear him and then get in for another strike with this buffed up damage. So now I actually have a slight lead. That is an illusion. Also going to go ahead and buff that and then pop down another minion of my own. You know what? I think actually, let's do it to both of them. We'll spread that out a little bit. We'll make him waste effectively some of his range shots. That's kind of my goal with doing that, is so that like this 1/1 doesn't have more worth than it should in this fight. Even though I said at the beginning that I'm resigned to losing, because I'm assuming I'm not going to be playing against somebody with a purely starter deck. I would love to win. I mean, that would be really cool, right? Well, unfortunately, that's unlikely to happen. All right, so we're about to be introduced to another mechanic, Provoke. Yeah, that figures. It's a cool little Phoenix Fire thing there, though, right? All right. Now, Provoke stops nearby enemy minions and generals from moving, and they must attack this unit first. So in other words, unless I kill this, like I can only attack this guy. If I try to move away, I'm provoked, and I can't do that. However, what I could do is another one of these and push. So that takes care of the provoked status, which is awesome. Then I'll buff myself again. Don't let this fool you, though. With his range attacks, he can do 4 to me, 5, 6 to me right away. That's a bad thing. I'm also going to go ahead. You know what would have been actually maybe a lot smarter would have been to put him right here. I could have killed those guys. That was a misplay on my part. So this Pyromancer has Blast. It's kind of like ranged. I can attack from a distance, but in a straight line, and it has like kind of penetration. Alright. That was real dumb. Unless he has, whenever he casts a spell, deal 1 damage and restore 1 health. Yeah, never mind. That was not real dumb. He knew what he was doing. Ugh. Yep. Okay, fair enough. I was defeated. I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised at all. My Vitruvian Imperium leveled up, because that was the very first time I've ever played with them, though, so that is something. In addition to using the in-game currency to get new cards, also at certain levels, you'll just automatically be awarded with specific cards. So that's kind of the way that that's all balanced out. Oh, and apparently level 2 is one of those. So at level 2, I gain Scion's Second Wish, which is a spell that allows me to just draw 2 cards for 2 mana. Fair enough. Also, my rank, which started at 30, has gone down to 27. Didn't change for losing that fight, but it's increased a couple of times when I've been playing before. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm hoping to turn this into at least a somewhat semi-regular series. Basically, it comes down to I cannot justify playing video games that I do not share with the world. So if I want to keep playing this, I am going to need to produce some videos out of it. I thought it was a fairly interesting take on a sort of collectible card game mechanic. I like a lot the additional strategic layer of the tactical turn-based thing. You know, that it's not just everybody all lined up in front of you and you attack and blockers. You get to move around, and it provides a lot of really interesting new mechanics, as we saw, like that ability to push things away, ranged attacks and such. It makes for a really diverse playstyle. What I'm planning on doing in the upcoming episodes is just sort of showing off some of the tutorial stages, and then we'll probably play a match at the end to just sort of wrap things up. If you enjoyed this video, please let me know in the comments if you'd be interested in seeing more. Subscribe if you'd like to see more videos on my channel every single day anyway. Leave a comment or a like if you have anything to say about this or any of my other episodes, and I will catch you guys next time.